When I have art shows and I talk to clients and collectors who want to buy my work, they ask me who am I, where I'm from. It kind of helps when they hear my story. They like it's raw, you know, it's what happened. I still try to keep the raw authenticity of my art and brand in my work as well. I grew up in New York, in the South Bronx. My parents come from Puerto Rico, and you know, we came from a pretty much poor family, you know, on public assistance. I was a kid just, you know, stealing everything from sodas to candies, potato chips, you know, I mean, you know, making go-karts, and all we did was play around in abandoned buildings, burnt out cars. It was crazy in New York, especially in the South Bronx. At that time, the subway cars in New York were painted with graffiti. So it was pretty exciting, you know, to get on the subway cars and see these big names. I remember seeing these big names like Blade and Comet. Those were the two names that stood out most because there were so many of them. Peanut 2, Mark 198, Mitch 77, Band 2. These were some of the names that I saw that pretty much, you know, caught my eye as a kid, and I wanted to paint the subway cars as well. Around 1980, 81, I came up with Cope2, and I started painting the subway cars, the number 4, then I went on to the 2s, the 5s, the 1s, the Ds, the CCs, and you know, that's what it was back then. You know, that was my playground to paint subway cars and go to the subway yards. You know, you're talking early 80s, you know, I was a kid. In 1999, there was Christie's had a big auction on graffiti. And one of the guys who was curating it contacted me, and he asked me to put 2-3 canvases inside. I don't do canvases. I don't do that. You know, I'm still painting walls. I'm still like a graffiti purist at the time. And I'm still working jobs that I'm sick of doing. And then I said, fuck it. I made a canvas. I tried. I put 3 of them in the auction, and 2 of them sold. I was like, damn, it takes me like 2-3 months to make $7,000. And from there I said, fuck this, I'm gonna start doing paintings. So I pretty much transitioned from being a hardcore graffiti artist to just a painter. You know, that's what I call myself. I'm almost 50 now, and you know, you can't do that anymore. It's all about, you know, taking your art to another level, and that's what I've been doing. You know, I always had the idea of painting photographs. But you don't just want to paint any photograph. You know, you could take photos, print them out, and paint them yourself. I wanted to find the right person. People just like doing it for them, not because they want to be famous, or they just like to do photography because they love to do photography.
So my name is Monika Alonso, I'm from Miami. Basically, the whole idea behind this photograph project with Cope2 was to keep it as organic as possible. So I take the picture with a fully manual camera. There's no automatic settings. I set everything. I do, you know, my darkroom prints with no altering or editing or filtering of anything. And then once the prints are done, then Cope, you know, hand embellishes, you know, each print. So each photo is an individual, you know, piece of art. No 2 photos are ever the same.
With these photos, I just did what came to me naturally. I'm not the type of guy to do a sketchbook and go on a wall with a sketchbook, and I don't do that. I just go off the head and just do it.
There's one called 1968 Legend, and it's him holding a spray can like this. And it's very simple, but at the same time, you know, it's him with his tool, you know, his hands, and you know, it's him showing you, you know, in your face, you know, what he's been doing for, you know, 35 years.
There's one piece that we did called The Castle's King. And it's really cool because that day we went and we took lunch. We had White Castle, you know, in the Bronx. Everybody loves White Castle. And we came out and there was a guy just sitting there.
And then I told him, oh, I'm gonna take your picture. And he was like, oh, that's cool. So he was just sitting up against the White Castle wall. And it was a very ironic thing because it was a White Castle and he was an African American. So it's one of my favorite pieces because of that.
And I did a throw up right behind him, like it was actually on the wall. So when you look at this piece in the photo, you see White Castle, you see the guy sitting down, it's like he's sitting against my piece.
We both put a lot of like heart and warmth and time into them, so I hope people like them, and if they don't, I mean, it is what it is. I don't do it for anybody to like it, and neither does he.
There's always negative bullshit in the graffiti world. My mother always told me don't take shit from anyone, so the problem with me is sometimes people would disrespect me on Instagram and I would fire back. And sometimes when you do that, it just gets worse. Sometimes you have to let it go. But you do get kids who respect you. I could be at an art show and a kid will come up to me, or a dude probably 10 years younger than me, 15 years younger than me, and they'll just like, yo, you're my idol, man. Yo, you're my hero, dude. You this, you that. And I really honor that, and to see that shows that people do have love and respect for you not only as an artist, but as a person. My tips and advice for younger artists is just focus on yourself. Do what you gotta do. Don't worry about no one else. Do your work. Even the person is better than you. There's plenty of artists better than me. I don't care. I don't even care if you could do a star better than me. I'm gonna keep doing what I do. You have to be consistent in this. I never thought doing it in the early 80s on the subway cars that I would be traveling around the world because of graffiti. To me, it's phenomenal, man. That's a big accomplishment in life, knowing that I never finished school, I was pretty much a fuck up. I know my mom's just happy that I made it somehow. I know we're not perfect. We just try every day and try to move forward.